case against Donald Trump, whatever it actually is, continues to fall apart in New York City. But the government is stubborn and determined to come up with something, anything that might stick. In fact, District Attorney Alvin Bragg would take anything at this point to save face. So far, however, they're coming up short, and even witnesses for the prosecution have appeared to completely undercut whatever case they thought they might have put together, which, like I said, is about as clear as mud so far. But despite the failures on the stand of key issues, they are plowing forward. And now, the government says it needs a lot more time to put on the case, which clearly keeps President Trump off the campaign trail a lot longer, and that, of course, appears to be by design. And all of this follows another fine for Trump, as he was charged again with violating the gag order. And it actually happened on this network, Real America's Voice, back on April the 22nd. And while issuing his rebuke of the 45th president, Judge Juan Merchan threatened to throw Trump in jail if he kept doing what he has been doing. And I say do it. Do it. If you're going to threaten, don't say, hey, I'll throw you in jail, and then not do it. In fact, I dare the judge. Go ahead, judge. Do it. Can't put me in contempt of court. Go ahead, try it. Nothing would build Trump up in the polls bigger and badder and faster than some garbage attack for allegedly violating a gag order that is absolutely ridiculous, begin with, and in violation of the First Amendment. Then after all of that, the judge ended early Monday. And that had Trump fuming, as well as they're all asking for more time but cannot fill the time they already have. Trump, after his day in court, tells reporters that the government is flailing. Listen.
Mr. President, how do you think your defense team is doing?
Very well.
Mr. Trump, why did you pay Michael Cohen?
So we just found out the government just said that they want 2 to 3 more weeks. That means they want to keep me off the trail for 2 to 3 more weeks. Now, anybody in there would realize there's no case. They don't have a case. Every legal scholar says they don't have a case. This is just a political witch hunt. It's election interfering. And this is really, truly election interference, and it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. And in every poll, I'm leading by a lot. And they figure maybe they can do something here. Maybe they can do. This case should be over. This case should have never been brought. By the way, Alvin Bragg didn't want to bring the case. Your previous DA didn't bring the case. The FEC said they threw it away. They said, you got to be kidding. Southern District didn't bring the case. Nobody brought the case. And then Alvin Bragg brought the case as soon as, when I'm running and leading, that's when they decided, let's go bring a case. So it's a disgrace. But we just heard 2 to 3 more weeks. I thought they were finished today. And they are finished today if you look at what's happening.
And with the judge sending everyone home early, it just makes me wonder what they're really up to. I mean, if this case is so airtight, so rock solid, and so damned important, you probably need to be working late, not quitting early. Trump says they don't even have enough for the case right now, and it's all about election interference. And, well, it's hard to argue with, isn't it? Here he is again.
And by the way, they didn't even have enough to fill out the time. You know, we got out early today because they didn't have another witness. The government didn't have another witness. So they didn't even have time to fill it out. And then they complained. So I'll tell you what, I hope you report the story accurately. This is a real threat to our country, and it's a serious threat to the Constitution. In the meantime, Columbia University announced today they're not going to have their graduation. They're not going to have a ceremony. And that's happening all over the country. Our country is a mess. And the most important day in the history of our country is going to be November 5th of this year. That's called Election Day. It's going to be the most important day in the history of our country. What's going on with this judge is a disaster. Between the gag orders and the hatred he's got for me, and everybody sees it, okay, and you see it better than anybody. God bless the USA.
God bless the USA. Allies of the former president are equally incensed about the trial, the double standards, the lack of any actual charge, all of it, in fact. And why wouldn't they be? It's also one of the reasons Donald Trump's polling numbers continue to be strong and why he is leading in all of the so-called swing states. And that's because people in this country don't like it when the deck is stacked against someone.